Thanks for the support as a channel member, Freddie Finlow. Yeah, very excited. League One, here we come. Can't wait to see what kind of transfer budget you've got in store for me this summer. Hello and welcome to part 42 of Homegrown. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, it is our season review and transfer special as we prepare for life in League One. And we're kicking things off with our season review. We're going to race through this fairly quickly because I've fully decided I don't really like these season review things that come in now, but they do occasionally give us the odd useful snippet of information. For example, the board are pretty unhappy with some of the transfers we made last year, and John Allen has won signing of the season despite only starting 8 games. I think that actually says it all. Although Batrek Piteta played 52 games and didn't get signing of the season, even though he's on a 7.2. But more importantly, we did get an A- for getting promoted through the playoffs. We had an average home attendance of over 1,000 people, which is pretty impressive for us. I think that average is weighted quite significantly by the fact that there were some bigger teams who brought big away followings, because there's quite a few times we had less than 500 people in the ground. Troy Cannon finishing as our top scorer. We had some big wins along the way, and money was a mess all year long. But I will show you in a second, we've just had a solidarity payment come through of nearly £500,000, which that could be crucial this summer. You can see all of the other financial bits are starting to improve as well. Sponsorships have doubled. We've had a massive boost in broadcast revenue, corporate and hospitality, prize money, match day revenue. All the income is on the way up. If we can get our bank balance back in the black, there's a chance for us to get that youth setup upgraded at some point. I think we probably need to sell a player for big money. And I mean, it's pretty unlikely to do, but if we were able to, we might be able to get back on track with the youth development. We only sold 96 shirts, which shirts are available for sale right now. In the description below, there is a link to where you can buy the shirts in real life. If we only sell 96, let's hope we outdo the football club. Beereth, Pritchard, Davies, Cannon and Hamilton as the top shirt sellers seems about right. I probably would have put Beereth third and maybe gone Davies, Pritchard, Beereth as a top 3. But other than that, it seems about right. This was the team of the year. So right in goal, a back four of Batrek Piteta, Charles Davies, Brewerton, Bandera and Popon in midfield, Hamilton and Whittaker with Cannon and Jessup up front. You can see goals were coming from all over the place this season. I say all over the place. The attacking players, Hamilton with 15, Cannon with 30, Jessup got 14. Beereth was into the 20s, I think, or close to the 20s. Pritchard was comfortably in double figures as well. We've got plenty of decent goal scorers. The fans' player of the year is Shay Charles. Young player of the year, Harrison Davies. They're the same age. Signing of the season is John Allen. Goal of the season went to Micah Hamilton. Troy Cannon is top scorer and top assist maker, which bodes well for him as a potential future as a complete forward. Most man of the matches goes to Harrison Davies, and he also picked up the highest average rating. Now, we didn't win any of the awards for the competition, but we have broken quite a few of our club records. So as mentioned midway through the season, Oliver Wright is now the club's all-time record appearance holder, 170 appearances now for him. If he carries on in goal, it's a record that's not ever likely to be broken because he'll just keep adding to it. And there isn't really another goalkeeper coming through. So Oliver Wright could end up with 400 or 500 appearances for us if he carries on the way he is. Micah Beereth is now the club's all-time record goal scorer with 64 goals. Our oldest player ever is Slam Dunk, who we're probably not going to loan back this year, but we will definitely try and get him into the coaching setup at some point in the future. Our highest ever transfer fee received was for Nathan Curry, the 282,000 we got for him. Again, slightly misleading because Kieran Hodgkinson, although he only went for about 10,000 initially, we did get that £3 million the following summer from selling his sell-on. But Nathan Curry and Hodgkinson are both players we're going to be looking to get back on loan this summer, along with Batrek Piteta again, if we can. If we can get all 3 of them, then I'm feeling confident. But what we need to find out on here is what we're getting in the way of budgets. And I've got to decide what kind of summer we're having. Obviously, last summer, we went and invested in a lot of young players, spent a lot of money, and it didn't exactly go to plan. So got to decide whether to do that again or save any money we might be given and basically save up for youth setup upgrades, which might be the more sensible way to do things. Mrs Wearmouth is looking for us to fight bravely against relegation from League One. Finally, for the first time ever, a realistic target for us for the coming season ahead. It looks like Mrs Wearmouth is expecting the back-to-back promotions are now going to come to an end. This is where it starts to get hard. We've entered Act 2 of Homegrown. It gets tricky from here, boys and girls. Our team leaders are Davies, Beeriff and Muir. I would like to think all three of them will still be here next year. Davies is kind of out of my hands, although hopefully getting the promotion means even if he forces through a move, the fact we're now a League One team, hopefully with a high reputation, might mean we can get a 7-figure fee for him. That would be nice. Team report doesn't really matter. We can only sign what we can find. And we did get one player into the seasonal select team, which was Tom Bachelor Ekpiteta. Have I already extended his loan for next season? Oh, I have. I'm a clever boy. Bachelor Ekpiteta is already in for next year. We've got a couple of Premier League released youngsters coming in, as you'd usually expect as well. But other than that, I think we probably, unless we're given an extraordinary amount of money now, which we won't be, I think we're probably waiting for the 1st of July to pick up some more youngsters. We've avoided a cash hit. Oh, Mrs Wearmouth is throwing some money into the kitty. She's doing it after the budget, though, so that's just the budget's probably low, and then she's topping up the bank balance. We've already looked for all the commercial stuff. This is scouting budget, in fact. This isn't budget. That's interesting. Right, we do need a scouting package. We can't really afford a decent one, which is a bit of a shame. And Mrs Wearmouth has just injected £2 million into the club. This is the woman who was stepping back. £2 million. We march straight into our office and say, please, Mrs Wearmouth, can we have some improved youth facilities? We'd really, really like some. We'll look after them really nicely. Training facilities as well. This could be massive if we can get those through. And we still haven't had transfer budgets and things yet. We're hitting continue again, waiting for the transfer budgets to come through. All of a sudden, this summer is looking up already. Oh, well, we're not going to improve the youth facilities or the youth level or the training facilities. I'm going to have a discussion with her about youth facilities because I think this is important. She's accepted the request. Okay. I didn't even have to argue. Let's try again with training facilities then, see if that works. Can't afford it. So we've spent the money on the youth facilities. It's cost us £1 million to up the youth facilities a bit again. But you know what? I'd rather spend £1 million on that than £1 million on players again. It'll be up and running by September. So hopefully the next youth intake that comes through, they'll be slightly higher quality again than what we've had before. So at the moment, we're showing us having good youth facilities. Hopefully this puts us back up to great youth facilities. That's the plan. We still haven't got budgets. We'll do one more continue. Otherwise, I'll have to cut and come back when we actually get some budgets. It's a bit odd that we've not had the budgets yet there's all this money stuff going on. Come on, Mrs Wearmouth, what are you dragging your feet about? I've already spent half of the £2 million you've just put in. I want to know how much of the rest of it I can spend now. No, we're still not getting budgets. Let me just check we've not had budgets allocated and I've just not noticed. You know what? We might have done, because that's saying a 48,000 wage budget. Did I just not notice the email? How do we search this? Budget. Search. No. Weird. Well, if we ever get the email, we'll have a look at it. But it looks like we have had budget set. No transfer budget, but loads of wage budget. That, I can work it. I can work with that. Well, still no email about budget, so I'm assuming they're in and we just didn't notice it somehow. I've also just been offered an interview at Bradford. So I get offered interviews in this save, just not in non-league to legend. These are the three players that we had signed on pre-contracts. Daniel Kenny is an 18-year-old Scottish centre-back with 3.5-star potential ability. He's come in from Manchester City. We've got Rory Roberts, who's an 18-year-old midfielder, only 2.5-star potential, who's in from Chelsea. These were all showing us 5-star potential when we trialled them. And Pat O'Grady is a 17-year-old striker with 3.5-star potential, who's in from Aston Villa. Yeah, they're not great, are they? But at least we're bringing another guy in on trial. Maybe he'll be better. Oh, this is going to be a long summer. This one looks a little bit more like it. We've signed our first Brazilian of the series. Northern Irish Brazilian. He's born in Emas in Brazil, but capped for Northern Ireland under-19s. He's got 5-star potential. And he wasn't, he was at Ballymena where he was in their squad playing games, but didn't have a contract. So we've just swooped in, taken him on a free transfer. He's got 5-star potential. That is, if we can bring in 3 or 4 of those each summer, we'll be absolutely fine. We want more of that, please. It is the 1st of July, which I know is traditionally a time for bringing in the free transfers. But before the free transfers, we have to welcome back Nathan Curry, who's in on loan until the end of the season. He's got good since he's been away. A new first-choice starting midfielder just about a year after he left. He played 10 games in the Championship last year, and he is back. That is Curry and Bacharak Piteta back home. We haven't been able to get Kieran Hodgkinson. He's playing in the Premier League for Fulham like a Mr. Fancy, and apparently he doesn't want to come and play in League One for us. Cisse's got a grumpy on that Curry's back, which is just dumb. I mean, they've played together so many times in the same team. They know they're not. He knows he's not replacing him. But luckily, that was the only bit of grumpiness that we've got. So, 1st of July, this is what the team report is looking like. We're not... In fact, this isn't the system we've been playing. Let's get our actual system on. We're actually looking at some pretty decent strength in depth in all areas. Obviously, we're not in a position to go out and sign a goalkeeper because we could probably do with a goalkeeper. We're really looking at where the younger players who can potentially come through are. Renan, who's just come in, is kind of involved in the first team squad at the moment. Curry can obviously come straight into the midfield there. Other than that, none of the new signings really ready to step up yet. So if we have a look at the development centre, this is new. I guess we're just going to get all these guys. I mean, Van der Laan's still here. I'm tempted for everyone who's a first team candidate to just bring them up and throw them in at the deep end and have these as my new signings. Is good enough to move to the home squad, but needs under 23s playing time to. You know what? So these are the rank 3 players. These lot are coming up. This is all new. This is uncharted territory for me. So if we bring these 3 guys up, go back to the team report. Do any of them come? So Andy Hall might get in as a backup left back. How does Van der Laan fare? I mean, he's not a million miles away and still showing a lot of potential. Van der Laan's had a strange career at home. Hasn't played for us since we were in the National League North. Is now back in the first team squad, age 21 for League One. Very, very odd career if he ends up being a player who actually makes it with us. But I think we'll probably... How big is our squad at the moment? We might even try and bin off some of these players. We've got a 30-man first-team squad before we've even brought anybody in. We've got a lot of 2-star players. So really, all these guys probably need moving on. It's tricky. I'm definitely going to keep more of an eye on this development centre. We've got Connor Roberts as a good young striker. Alex Williams is a good young goal. We've got a 5-star potential goalkeeper there. I know he's 17. He's with a potential replacement long-term for Oliver Wright. We've got a lot of rank 1 players. Everyone's now moved up to rank 1. Stuart Cox is a 5-star potential right back. We probably need to bring some of these guys up. I'll try for some free transfers, but based on the last couple of seasons, I don't expect many. We're just going to need to check in on that dev centre a little bit more often. We've brought in a couple more players, nothing particularly exciting. Stephen Graham is a goalkeeper, 4-star potential from Chelsea. We've got Ali Gordon, who is left back / centre back, 6'3", 4.5-star potential from Bournemouth. We've got Paul Bro, don't know. Bro, maybe, no. He's got 4-star potential. He's a midfielder. He's in from Everton. Ian Duarte is, how is he Portuguese? He must be English as well. He is English as well. Excellent. He's a centre-back who is only 3-star potential. He's also in from Everton. And then we've got this guy who is another goalkeeper, 3-star potential, and he's in from Liverpool. That is probably that. Other than that, we're loaning out a lot of the young players. At the start of the series, I said I wasn't going to be loaning players out. I think I'm relaxing that rule a little bit to give them game time. As long as I'm signing them when they're 18, I think I'm relaxing the rule. I think we'd kind of already relaxed the rule anyway, but some of these guys need game time. We've got a very, very large first team squad of largely very average players. So I guess we get a bunch of them out. We bring up some more of the under-23s. We try and get some more of the 5-star potential players into the team and hope that some of them start developing. We're looking at these guys, get them developing quickly as possible. And the easiest way to do that is to get them up into the first team. So we need to get some of these other guys out of the way and playing football of their own to help with their development. And we have made it through until the end of the summer. That might be the shortest transfer special ever on record. But ultimately, we got out of it what we wanted. We got Nathan Curry back on a season-long loan. We got the improvements to the youth setup, which will hopefully show when we come through to get our youth players through again later in the season. Interestingly as well, we got a £575 million offer for Zach Redmond from Derby, which we were allowed to turn down. So hopefully the days of our players being robbed off us on the cheap are behind us as well. There's been no offers in for Harrison Davies over the summer. There's been no real offers in for anybody else. John van der Laan's back in the first team squad. Now Slam Dunk's not here. And the squad's looking pretty solid. Alex Williams has been promoted as the backup goalkeeper. We've got decent strength in depth throughout. If we filter this down to 3-star, there's a few gaps. But doing it on 2-star, there's plenty of young players with potential who can hopefully step up and make the kind of progress that the likes of Curry and Davies and Charles have made for us in the past. We're going to need it because it's going to be our first really tough season, I think. If we have a look at the season preview, the media are thinking top half, upper mid-table. Harrison Davies is in the media Dream 11. So he's still considered one of the better players in the division. He's actually been away playing for the Welsh under-21s this summer. I assume this is going to be the year that he makes his full Wales debut, if he's going to be as good as we all hope he's going to be. He's still considered to be a player who's operating at a championship level, who could still improve. So there is a potential Premier League future still for Harrison Davies. We're just going to have to see if we can keep hold of him long enough to make it happen. But we're going to end this there. We will start tomorrow's episode up with the first 2 games of the season. And once we've done that, we'll have a much better idea of just how good this squad is. Or not. But at least the new youth academy's coming along nicely. We spent all our money on that. We spent all our money on a building. Oh, it's like the reverse of last summer. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.